Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Well, I was thinking this morning, I've had a few inquiries, about being safe in the Philippines. No, I've been here a while, almost 13 years. A little over a month it will be, 13. And to be honest with you, I've always been safe. Now, I haven't done any stupid things. That's one reason I've been safe. Now, to be safe in this country, first thing you need to keep in mind, you are in a third world country. And they do have a different way of doing things. And their laws are a little different. Now, once you get that frame of mind, you can become safe. Now, if you come in this country and you're gun-ho and you're a macho, your safety issue drops. You want to drop the macho thing. Now, with that said, that's the piece of advice I want to give you before you come. Once you get here, you got to be aware of your surroundings. Personally, I don't wear jewelry. If you want to flash a status that you're wealthy, that's open up the door for you to be on the target side. There's people that does great here, and they have a jewelry and all that stuff, and they go out and buy a brand new SUV, all that stuff, and build the exotic houses, and they're living just fine. But they're living in a cage. I don't live in a cage. I have no intentions to. If I wanted a perimeter fence, bars on my windows, I'd be living in a subdivision, which I have in the past. I didn't like it. There's people that likes that. They like the guards at the gates and one thing or another. That's the way they want to live. That's fine. Now, to you newcomers, you come here, if you're going to have a nightlife, if that's what you desire, my advice is never go alone. Especially late at night. You don't want to be walking the streets alone. No. In most cases, you're going to be in a city doing this. And that's where more criminal activity is. So if you want to open the door and make yourself a target, that's one way of doing it. Now, numbers makes you safer. Not 100%, but it does make you safer. Now, speaking of living in a city, I've often had, excuse me just a second, people mention that about pickpockets. Well, me personally, if I'm going to the city or whatever in a crowded area, I'm always wearing cargo shorts that have pockets that zip and button. That helps. Of course, they ain't nothing 100%. But that helps. I've not had an issue with a pickpocket. I'm not saying that it's 100% guaranteed that it'll work. But it helps. Because the more difficult you make it, less the odds. Yes, good old Maxwell House coffee this morning. And always keep yourself aware of your surroundings. And if you're going to go out and what I call party, don't do it alone. Because when you're drinking, you lose your sense of surrounding. And you open up those opportunities. Now, another thing, again, if you're going to do this, don't be wearing all this jewelry and stuff and flashing your wealth. And never carry large amounts of money. Personally, I don't go anywhere carrying money that I can't afford to lose. Grace and I have always done that. Yeah. And I've always keep copies of my important things in my wallet, like my driver's license, ACR card. That's Alien Certificate of Registration, if you don't know what that is. I-card, a lot of people call it. I keep copies of that. And I never carry my passport. But I do have copies of it anyway. In other words, safety here in the Philippines is being smart enough to take care of yourself. I have, over the years, seen in the news and by word of mouth, people have been taken advantage of, or pickpocketing one thing or another, or even been actually robbed. When you put all the pieces together, about 70% of those people put themselves in that situation. I hate to be judgmental, but stupid is as stupid does. So that's something you got to be made aware of. And of course, let me ask you a question. If you're not living in the Philippines, how safe are you now? What do you do to maintain your safety? That's a good question, isn't it? A lot of people, their home country is not so safe anymore, even though it's supposed to be first world. Safety. Being safe is something everybody wants. Being secure, being able to live, enjoy their life. Personally, that's what I do. Now, a lot of this I got to give credit to Grace, because she helps extremely a lot. The reason I say that, if you don't have a partner or a wife, you're not always aware of your surroundings because of the language barrier. With the locals, they pass along the information that you don't see in the news and so forth. So you do need someone, a partner or a wife, even a steady girlfriend. Well, they make you aware of unsafe situations. I know Grace does me, especially when we lived in the city. And over time, I learned to listen to her. Even though she's a lot younger than me. But you'd be surprised how wise these young ladies are if you give them an opportunity. Being safe. Personally, I feel more safe now than I ever had in my life. Except when I was a kid. After a different time, different era, different neighborhood, things were entirely different now. But I feel like when I was a kid, I don't have any issues here. Yes, you can be safe here in the Philippines. It's not up to me to make you safe. It's not up to the government to make you safe. It's up to you. That's the key right there. Make yourself aware. Don't put yourself in situations that makes you unsafe. And of course, there's always that circumstances that it's going to happen. People get involved in things they shouldn't. But my advice is do everything in your power to stay out of those situations. The Philippines can be very safe, and it's all dependent on you. Now, you can hear all the stories about kidnappings and so forth, and especially in the south of the Philippines, in Mindanao, and I forgot the name of the other place, Zimbrali or something like that. I can't pronounce it. I'm a hillbilly, got that slang. But even those places, you can be safe. Again, there's a lot of foreigners live in Mindanao, in places that are claimed to be unsafe. But they made themselves safe by being aware. Now, I suggest, make you some friends if you want to come to the Philippines. And friends, if you want to travel around, friends that's willing to travel around. And don't do it alone. There's been people do it alone and not have any problems. Again, those people generally do what I just said. They don't wear fancy jewelry, they don't drive fancy vehicles, and they don't make themselves appear to be a target. But still, personally, I wouldn't be traveling alone. Because, all foreigners here are perceived to be wealthy in general. And not all of us are. So, that's some of the things I can point out to you and let you be aware of. To be safe here in the Philippines, you got to be self-aware. I know it's battling on again. And folks, you know how much I appreciate everybody for subscribing and watching my channel. And I want everybody to have a very happy life. And again, thank you for watching and stay tuned.